screen and include it. Now, there's no huge amount left, so if you have been thinking about it, it's a good idea to put it in your baskets and check them out, because even the plate made comes with it, right?
Yes, in the starter kit. So you want the embossing mat on the hard side up when you're doing the line art from the plate. So this is the plate made that comes in the starter kit.
Yes.
There's the window, the aperture, and our A5 plate is going to just sit in there. So if you had, for example, a larger piece of parchment, it will sit nice and flat over that.
So because if there was like, I mean, you can do it without it, but otherwise you can bend it over.
If you lean even a little bit over it, over the edge, it will give you the white marks on your paper. So this allows your parchment to stay nice and flat. But also what you have is, yes, they could have given you just the window on its own on an acrylic plate, but no, they have given you letters as well, letter boxes, and all the diddly-doos. Will do. Diddly-doos will do. So if you haven't done parchment before, groovy before, you want to have the plate so it reads groovy the right way up, and that's the side that's etched. So I'm just going to attach the parchment to the plate using groovy tabs.
Right.
And what that will do is that will stop it from moving as I emboss out the lines. So I'll just line it up. And the groovy tabs, you know, they last such a long time. They're not going to rip your parchment.
And they are designed to secure it in there. They come in with the accessory pack, right?
They come in the accessory, the groovy accessory.
Which comes with, well, a parchment as well, right? The accessory. Oh, no, it's...
I don't know if the accessory... No. It comes with the groovy guard.
Yeah.
The tabs. Does it come with parchment? It comes with something else, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll have a look on the website. It will tell you exactly what it comes with, your groovy accessory pack.
So what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing the parchment with a tumble dryer sheet. What this will do is it will help the tool glide easier on the parchment. And there's a tumble dryer sheet included in the starter kit as well. So you don't need to go buy a whole box of tumble dryer sheets. So using the groovy guard, I'm going to just put it over the parchment, because a lot of us have lotions on our hands. Some of us eat while we're doing parchment and have icky fingers. This is going to protect my work. And I'm using the number 1, 2. So in the starter kit, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. They go in size order, 1 being smallest, 4 being largest. For crisp white outlines, I'm going to use the number 1, 2. And I like to go over the grooves a few times. Some people can, I mean, I can just press once and go like this.
Yes, we can see.
I just prefer to go over a few times.
Is that so the fibers are stretched properly and more gently rather than...
I feel it does, because I think for me, I've got into the habit of embossing softly, that even when I'm doing line art, I like to go. And the other reason is that it just lets me take my time over it. You know, I don't want to rush it. I'm doing this because I'm having fun. It makes me feel good. So why would I want to rush it?
Absolutely.
I'm going to take as long as I can take doing this project. But I know a lot of people can just emboss the line art super quickly and in one go.
Right. Now you're doing the little tiny dots. Is there
I'm doing the little circles. So, I mean, these are teeny tiny dots.
Right.
So I'm doing them with the number 1, 2, because there's not much to emboss really in the middle there. If they were larger circles, you would emboss those with the number 2, 2. Right. It will give you a softer outline. It will be easier to emboss inside there. But because these are teeny tiny, I'm just doing everything with the number 1, 2. And when we come to emboss inside, I will show you. Like we usually go up and down across, but these are too tiny to be honest. But in the morning show, I did demonstrate embossing circles. Oopsie daisy. And
Now-
where there is no grooves, it's not going to mark the
And then
parchment.
basically, you know, the thing of going wrong and making a mistake, which is one of the fears that we always have in crafting and more so in parchment, that's not even possible, is it?
Yeah, so it's not going to mark the parchment at all. Where there is no grooves like there, I've just gone over, it doesn't mark the parchment. You only get the white appearing where
Where
the
there is a
grooves
groove,
are
yeah.
there.
Yeah, and this is why it's such a clever system. That's why it's such a, you know, has got that such a following, because even watching it is mindful. Even, you know, you kind of get relaxed into that groove and to literally, I mean, no pun intended, because you know that nothing can go wrong, and you only have to follow whatever line you choose to do, you know, and it's just relaxing, you know.
It
You have to
is.
think about it, but, you know.
Yeah, for me, this is just so mindful. I can switch off. At home, normally I'll put my music or, you know, listen to a book or whatever and just get into the groove.
Get into the groove, yeah.
And do the lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do as much, do as little. I know when I'm super tired or super stressed, literally I just do line art and sit there and color it.
Yeah.
I find that very relaxing. You know, with the Groovy system, we've had kids as young as 5 years old who can do this. And that's really good, you know, for kids, because when they do something like this
Right.
and achieve results like, you know, their mom or grandma or
Yeah.
something, and they see that, they think, I did that.
Yeah, you did that,
Makes, it makes a child feel good.
Yeah.
And, you know, they want to do more.
Yeah. Through the Seasons is the name of this collection. Brand new today from Jazz, and 40% of the stock has now gone. Very busy for it. Now, you are going for the bundle because, of course, it makes sense to go for that bundle that has got all 4 seasons. So the daffodils with the spring theme, the sunflower for the summer. Then we have got the autumnal leaves there coming in perfectly there for those, you know, kind of the nice rowing. And then finally the mistletoe, because of course winter. Many of you kind of have got their favorite seasons. What is yours, Tina?
My favorite season? Oh, I don't know. I think autumn.
Autumn. Well,
Autumn, the leaves
lots of favorites
and
for that one.
everything.
40% of the stock has now gone. Remember to secure yours. There's only one way, and that is when you check out your baskets. All right, let's start.
So on this plate itself, what I'm going to emboss is this circle,
Nice.
the square,
Nice.
diamond square.
Yeah. Oh. So, yeah.
The
On point. In patchwork they say square on point. That's what they say.
square on. Oh, I like that.
Isn't it?
I don't know if I remember it, but I like
On
that.
point.
I'm
If
going
you
to write
think
it
it's
down
like that,
actually. Yeah.
Because a diamond
it
is a
makes
different
sense.
shape, you know.
It's longer and
Yeah.
thinner, sort of. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
wider.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm
square
going to
on
try it, and it makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
So on the flat side.
Yeah,
isn't
it makes sense.
I mean, I only remember because I just had a show with Andy, and then I was saying calling it diamond, and he said, "Well, it's square and square," you know, and they said on point. So see, we learn
I like
everything,
that.
you know, and here on Create and Craft.
And the border here. So I'm not going to do the whole border there. So again, I'm just using the number 1 tool to go around, and you would do the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and including I put the outside frame
Nice.
as well.
Now, there's a question,
So-
because sometimes we are crafters that have got 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, you know, half an hour. Is this a craft that we can do in stages as and when we have got those minutes?
Yeah, so like for example, I've taken this off, yes, because I want my plate mate to do something else. I've thought of an idea and and I've taken this off, but a week later, 2 weeks later, I think, okay, let me go back to this. Because it's grooves, it's going to sit back right in. You tape it down,
Yeah.
and you're ready to go again.
Right. So kind of the
it
grooves
just-
fit the grooves,
Yeah,
and then
so there you go.
Yeah,
And it
perfect.
doesn't, well, because I haven't stuck it on the other
Could
side,
we
it
leave
doesn't
it
move.
with the tabs on for a longer time, or would that become too sticky and then will be a
No,
problem?
you can leave
you can
them
leave it, yeah.
on. You
Perfect.
can leave them on. So, oh no, hold on. Let me bring this back. So here is the one that's finished with all the pieces. So the circle, the square on point,
Yes.
the frame, and the outside
Yeah.
frame. Now, the frames between all four of them, that you have got so many options that you can mix and match the frames.
Right.
They've been designed so you can, you know, depending on which frame fits where, you've got larger ones, smaller ones,
Right.
that you can just mix them. So the
Absolutely.
permutations is just huge with
Right,
what you get. So now what we have is we've got the frame here, for example.
Right.
And I want to put something in there. I want to put something in the middle. And if I bring the card in, so on this bit,
Yeah.
I have put the sunflowers. So when we look at this, the sunflowers, and I line up my square with that, you can see it doesn't fit.
Right,
That
yeah.
is
Yeah.
bigger on
Yeah.
the plate than the thing we have there. So what we would do is we would align
Yeah.
two of the straight lines, and it's going to sit inside the groove quite easily.
Perfect.
So you know you're perfectly
Yeah.
straight because it just
Yeah.
slots in. Tape it down. And what you're going to do is, well, hold on. Where am I? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want this these dots,
Right.
because you can see I've perforated, so there's no point putting the dots. So actually what I'm going to do is I am going to move the design, so I've got more space around here, so that the sunflowers are kind of touching the outline, but still I can line it up with the dots
Yeah.
to make sure I'm straight.
Perfect.
But if you
So
if you
is all
wanted a
this-
wider,
Wait, is there all those little tiny elements that we have got control over it?
yes.
Do you recommend, though, if it's the first time that we get the plates, that we do the whole plate, or you or straight away?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I always like, you know, even now, if I get new plates, I will trace them out first.
Yeah. All of it. Yeah.
All of it as it is. Because as I'm doing that, one, I'm relaxing, as well as I can, you know, there's lots more I can see when I'm doing it, that I could use this, or I've got this in my stock and this will work really well. So even now, I always emboss out the plates I get. So again, I'm just using the number 1, 2. And if you're just starting off, you know, join Groovy Worldwide, Clarity Worldwide
yeah.
on Facebook. They're amazing groups, lots of helps, hints, tips. Barbara does Shack on a Monday morning. Paul does Groovy Tuesday.
Nice.
So there's lots of help. There's the Clarity Matters blog. Every Sunday they do a step-by-step. The whole design team is on the on Groovy Worldwide and things. So if you ever feel you need to ask a question, or you want ideas,
Yeah,
just
that
pop
would be,
the
yeah.
question in the group, and everyone is always so ready to help.
Yeah, that's a great, you know, add-on that you have got when you go for Groovy. By the way, 45% of the stock has now gone, and of course you are getting all 4 brand new plays, the 4 seasons there, Through the Seasons by Jazz. All of them giving you frames and possibilities that you can mix and match, because that's the other thing about that is a great thing about this collection, that having elements that you can take out of it and then change the inside of it. For instance, you have a hexagon, circles, squares that you can bring into different projects, into different ways of bringing them all together. If you want yours, saving £6.50 when you go for all 4 in one go, 610099 is your item number. The bundle is, of course, the most popular option. But if you want to pick and choose your own single options, of course you can do that. But why would you do it when you can just go all 4? And what would be the seasons if not all 4 of them?
Yeah. So I wanted to do just one corner so I can show you quickly how to position the others. So we've done one corner, and it's so simple. You just basically slide it along so that the tips of the sunflowers touch the edge along there, the opposite corner, and you emboss it out.
yeah.
Once you've done that, you move it along to make sure the tips of the there, and then you're going to do the same there.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to position because you can see through the plates. That just makes it super easy. So once you've done the sunflowers, there was a little bit of gap. Now you can leave the gap, or you can fill it in with any of the elements from any of the plates. So I've just filled it in from the previous plate.
That's
in
so
there.
simple, but such a great add-on, because
Yeah.
and the thing is, it's not a single flower, it's part of a plate, but a border, but you can still
Yeah.
do just that big.
Yeah. So if I just quickly talk through the rest of the design, and then we can move on to other
Absolutely, yeah.
techniques.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's one I have already finished embossing. So we've done the sunflowers. This was from the previous plate. Let me put the previous plate back on, which was the daffodil spring. So hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, 50%
See,
of the
Daisy.
stock has now gone. So if you want your collection, remember, very busy this afternoon. I mean, there's nothing better, I think, in my opinion, than a rainy day. So you can stay indoors with this beautiful sound of rain outside. Go into your craft area, whether it is your living room, just put in some like nice music, or put in, of course, create and craft in the background, and get into your crafty art.